So welcome to the reigning champions of Dutch football. It is Feyenoord. That is who we are taking control of. They're a one-time Champions League winner all the way back in 1970. Maybe this is one of my objectives, and I don't know how well we're going to do. Maybe we can win ourselves a European trophy. I'm not saying Champions League, but I'm certainly hoping we can maybe get a Europa League or even a Europa Conference League. That should be doable. I'm playing the game on your world, which means all transfers that have happened in real life have not happened in-game. I personally don't know what any of those are anyway, so it's not really going to make a huge amount of difference to me. We have one player that we're going to make sure we're going to try and play as much as we possibly can. And that is this man, Shaquille Van Persie, 16 years of age, obviously the son of Robin Van Persie. He is part English, he's actually Dutch as well, and Moroccan, apparently. Fair enough, didn't even know that one. But yeah, I'm hoping we get to see a lot of football from Shaquille Van Persie. I'm going to actually deploy him probably as a left winger, which might be controversial, but that's what we're going to go for. We have got a bit of money to spend. We've got £4.287 million. I'm not sure what I'm going to really do, but we're going to jump forward to the end of the first transfer window and see how well we started the season. Well, we are just 3 games into the season, and we are currently sat top of the table. 2 wins, 1 draw to our name. We have Jimenez, who is currently joint top goal scorer in the league at the moment. Let's take a look to see what transfers we've done, because we've done a couple. A total of 5 new players have been brought into the club from myself. Another player joined actually on the day before the season started. Lucas Moura is the first one we brought in on a free transfer, and I think this is a very good signing for a couple of seasons. We're not going to keep him for a very long time, but at 31 years of age, still very, very good. Predominantly going to be playing on that right-hand side as a winger, maybe an inverted forward, not quite sure just yet, but Moura already has 1 goal and 2 assists to his name in the Eredivisie. And he's also got a goal and an assist in the Johan Cruyff Sjaal, which I assume is like the Charity Shield kind of thing. We've also loaned in Mohamed De Hatteren from Juve. I'm not really sure why we've done this one. I've just brought him in because obviously he's Dutch and I think he's good. I'm there thinking maybe we can turn this into a permanent deal and he might get better in a few years' time. Another player we have brought in on loan is Josh Wilson-Esbrand, on loan from Manchester City. And he's come in as a squad player. Basically, we needed more left-back options. Wilson-Esbrand, actually at 20 years of age, he's not terrible. I played with Wilson-Esbrand for my Reading save. If you didn't watch those videos, please go back, check those out. There's lots of them. Wilson-Esbrand was very, very good for me. So I brought him in on a loan until the end of the season. Let's see how well he does. I'm not convinced this one's a good idea, but on a free transfer, we have brought in Yerry Mina, 28 years of age, Colombian international, formerly, obviously, of Everton, spent some time at Barcelona, at Palmeiras, I believe, Santa Fe, Deportivo Pasto as well. I assume he's native Colombia. For a free transfer, for a centre-back, he's not bad. He's also currently out injured. And finally, the most ridiculous signing that I think I've ever done in a Football Manager save is Martin Braithwaite for £7 million. I don't understand him as a footballer. He's not very good, but for some reason keeps falling upwards. He's just constantly fallen upwards in his career. He's gone from Esbjerg to Toulouse, fair enough, to Middlesbrough, and then he went to Leganes, which I guess is technically a downwards fall, isn't it? Slightly from the Championship? I don't even know, maybe not. Actually, he's gone to the top division in Spain. He's fallen upwards. Then he massively fell upwards to Barcelona. He then went to Espanyol on a free, and we've picked him up for £7 million. It's a lot of money. So with those players in, this is in theory our best 11, and I don't think it's too far away from what we're actually going to be playing. One thing we will be making sure will happen, though, is on that left-hand side, Shaquille Van Persie will be playing there. He's played 3 times so far in the league, getting an assist, also getting an assist in the Johan Cruyff Sjaal as well. He's good. I don't know whether he should be a striker or a left winger. I'm sticking with my guns. He's a left winger for me. So other things that have gone on then, these are the 4 competitions that we're in. Obviously Eredivisie, Champions League, the Dutch Cup and the Johan Cruyff Sjaal, which we have won by a considerable margin by the looks of it. We have beaten PSV 4-2 in the final for this one. I don't know why I've clicked that. There we go. Right, we have it. Jimenez, it is Moura, Timber and Jimenez once again with the goals. 4-0 up after 48 minutes. From a league perspective, we've started off pretty well, although dropping points against Almere City is not ideal. A 5-0 win to kick things off with the season. Jimenez with a hat-trick, beating Sparta Rotterdam, and a 1-1 draw against Almere City. Not perfect, but we are still top of the table. We're now going to jump forward to the end of the season to see how well we get on. I don't think I'm going to be coming back to do any transfers in January, but you'll have to wait and see. Champions League-wise, we've got Newcastle, Atletico Madrid, and Dynamo. I think we might finish 3rd in that. We'll come back at the end of the season and see what happened. Well, there you have it then. We are the two-time champions of Holland, beating PSV and Ajax to the title. 6 points clear in the end over PSV, which, that's pretty good. We've only lost 3 matches all season against Go Ahead Eagles, Volendam and PSV. A 5-3 defeat as well. Jimenez scoring 26 goals. That's a lot of goals. 30 starts, 26 goals, 6 assists as well. We only played 6 Champions League games, which is a concern, which means we probably dropped down into the Europa League. We will take a look at that in just a second. One thing I want to know, though, has Shaquille Van Persie done enough for us to keep playing him as that left winger? The fact that he has 12 assists to his name kind of points to maybe he has. He's 10 goals, 12 assists on that left-hand side. He's got an under-21 cap as well for England, which is surprising, but fair enough. He is part English. Was born in England, I think. He's getting very good. He's worth 53 to 66 million pounds. I think he might need a new contract. He's on $5,500 a week. So in the Champions League, we did actually finish second in the group. That's pretty good. 2 wins, beating Newcastle and Dinamo. 2 draws, Dinamo and Atletico Madrid. And then obviously Atletico Madrid and Newcastle as the defeats. Newcastle just basically dominated, apart from that 3-2 defeat against us. I mean, 2 draws, 2 wins and 2 defeats it's not great, is it? Which means, though, we must have got knocked out in the round of 16. We played Real San Sebastian, Real Sociedad, and we do lose. But we did beat them in the second leg. So we lose 2-0 away from home, then win 1-0 at home. But knocked out of the Champions League in the round of 16, which means we don't drop down into the Europa League. And weirdly, I guess even more frustratingly, in the Dutch Cup, we get knocked out in the second round by FC Twente. But the board don't really care. There's literally no expectation from the board there. So maybe the Dutch Cup just nobody really cares about. Now, you all laughed at me. I heard you. You all laughed when I signed Martin Braithwaite. He scored 16 goals and got 9 assists. I think you find that's a very good turnaround for £7 million. He might not be our number 1 striker next season. In fact, he's not our number 1 striker this season, is he? But he might not be playing next year. But the fact that I spent £7 million on him, technically only 6 million, he's not even gone up to 7 yet, and he's got 16 goals. His best ever season when it comes to scoring goals. So that's good business. That's very good business for me. Lucas Moura as well, for a free transfer, 14 goals, 8 assists, doing very well. Starting to decline though now at the age of 31, will be 32 by the time Season 2 kicks off. So just a very quick look then at the squad at the end of Season 1. Jimenez, top goal scorer, 29 goals. Braithwaite with 19. Moira with 17. Van Persie with 11. A whole load of goals as well. Bosnic getting 6. We get 6 from Dillerson. Danilo scoring 5. 3 goals for Weifer. Zaruki gets 3. 2 goals as well for Holmgren Pedersen, that's his name. We've also got David Hankno scoring a goal. Loads of goals as well. I assume these are all defenders. They are all defenders. Assists out the wazoo for Zaruki. Who is Zaruki? He's a ball-winning midfielder and he's got 13 assists in all competitions. Fair enough. Right, that's going to do it for Season 1. We are going to jump forward to the start of Season 2. And we're going to hopefully do the same thing again. But this time, maybe go a little bit further in the Champions League. That's got to be the goal. So then, for Season 2 with our final side, we have £10.595 million to spend in our transfer budget. It is the 1st of July, and we have already done a little bit of business, mainly, in fact, all on free transfers. And we've also sold a player, apparently, for £4.016656 million. We didn't. We just lost lots of our youth players, which I assume means that there was like some form of compensation. So Jadon Slaughter is one of them. Going to AC Milan, not ideal, because I think he's quite good. We did get some money for Francesco Antonucci, though, for about £400,000. He's gone to NEC Nijmegen, might be what they're called. The first of 4 players joining the club on the 1st of July, all on free transfers, is Pierluigi Gallini, formerly of Atalanta, Napoli, Fiorentina, Spurs and Aston Villa. 29-year-old Italian goalkeeper, international, kind of one cap to his name. He's definitely not going to be playing, but he's coming in as a backup, which I think is a decent backup option. One for the future, which I'm not convinced is a good idea, but he's a free transfer, is Daniel Jefferson, 20-year-old Canadian international with a cap and a goal to his name, signed from Sheffield United. Is he good? I'm not sure if he is good, but my scouts and coaches think there's something there, 3.5-star potential. So he might get good, we never know. Now, I'd love to try and explain myself for this one. I can't. I thought he was a lot younger than actually what he is. Jamie Shackleton, now 24 years of age, English central midfielder, maybe a bit of a right-back. He's been brought in, free transfer, got released by Leeds. I thought he was like 21. I genuinely thought he was like 21. He's 24. I guess we're just going to have to call him a squad player. And finally, someone who I think might be a little bit controversial is Nicolas Pepe, formerly of Arsenal, Nice, Lille, Angers and Orléans, and probably somebody else as well. Yes, Stade Potvin. Why did I even scroll down to them? I can't even pronounce that name. Signed on a free transfer, got released from Arsenal. Obviously cost Arsenal too much money. £72 million apparently is what he's cost them. But I think on a free transfer, he's very good. And he's only come in as a fringe player. He's probably going to basically dislodge Lucas Moura so Pepe can play on that right-hand side. We're going to keep Van Persie on that left-hand side. Maybe Moura will move up front alongside Jimenez, which means Braithwaite might actually get dropped, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So I know, even though it is still only the 1st of July, we've not closed the transfer window just yet. This is kind of what I'm forced playing. Van Persie on the left, Nicolas Pepe on the right, Lucas Moura playing as a pressing forward. We're going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window, where probably more business will take place. It normally does. So 4 games in to the Eredivisie season, and we are currently sat 2nd place in the table, but we are undefeated. In fact, we dropped absolutely 0 points. PSV and Fortuna Sittard also in a very similar boat. In fact, they are in the same boat because we're all on 12 points after 4 games. We have done some transfer business, and we have sold some very big name players, and by big name, one of them's a very long name, lengthy wise, one of them's a very expensive player. Timo Wellenreuther, who was our number 2 goalkeeper for the last few seasons, I assume, he's moved on to Al Ittihad for £5 million. This is one of the reasons why I was bringing Galini, because I knew I didn't want Wellenreuther playing for us, because he wasn't going to get in the side anyway. When that £5 million bid came in, I went, you know what, we've got to do this, we've got to get rid of him. Galini's free. We've also sold Denzel Hall, who is a 23-year-old Dutch right back to SC Heerenveen for about £2.5 million. He was out on loan, I believe, last season. We just didn't play him. And Igor Piaxau has left, moving over to Middlesbrough. He's done the reverse Martin Braithwaite. The Brazilian has gone for £2 million. But the big one was David Hanko, who is a Slovakian central defender left-back. I was playing him as a centre-back, basically. He has moved over to Saudi Arabia for nearly £40 million. In fact, it will rise to £40 million. Very good for us last season. 30 appearances, a goal, a couple of assists as well. But Hanko has moved on because he was worth too much money, basically. That bid came in and I went, we've got to take it, which means we have done some reinvesting as well. In reverse order of value, we are kicking things off with a loan deal of Liam Delap, signed on loan from Manchester City. Much like Wilson Esbrand in Season 1, I had Liam Delap in my Reading team. He was very, very good. And by very good, ridiculously good. So Liam Delap has been brought over to hopefully replicate what he did for my Reading side for this final team. We are paying a bit of money for him. Costing £2.4 million, but I think if he propels us to win the league for a 3rd season in a row, that's perfect. Also joining from Manchester City is Tommy Doyle. £1.7 million is all this has cost, 22 years of age. This is kind of what I thought Jamie Shackleton was, which is why I've bought Tommy Doyle, because I wanted a young English central midfielder who could get a fair amount of game time, hopefully get better and improve. Tommy Doyle's hopefully going to do that. For £3.3 million, we have dipped our toe into the German market, signing Eloine Fernandez Neto, 19 years of age. He is a deep-lying playmaker by trade. He's probably not going to be playing week in, week out, but I think he's going to get a fair amount of football for us. And one of 3 players who have joined to replace Hanko. Jakov Medic is a 25-year-old Croatian centre-back and apparently slightly can maybe play up front if you really want him to. He's good. I don't think he's particularly bad. He's come off the bench 3 times. He's probably the worst of the 3 that we've brought in. Did I mention he's cost £3.6 million? He's literally just moved from Frankfurt last season. For potentially £4.8 million, we have signed Strahinja Erikovic, the 23-year-old Serbian central defender, 10 caps and a goal to his name already. He's good, right? I think he's probably the Hanko replacement, and at 23 years of age, he's still young, plenty of time to develop going forward into. And in a similar vein, Mika Marmol has been signed from FC Andorra, a 23-year-old Spanish centre-back and left-back. He's our most expensive signing at £5.75 million, but I think he's very good. We probably maybe could have got him a bit cheaper. If we really wanted to, we could have got him cheaper, but I saw he was available and went, you know what, let's go for it, let's bring him in. So with all of those transfers done, these are the 4 players that I'm actually fixing into positions. We're making sure Geertruida plays as a right back, because otherwise they play him as a centre back. My assistant manager wants to play him as a centre back, which is fine, he can certainly do that job. But I feel like he's much better going up and down that wing, so we're going to make sure he plays as that right back on that right-hand side. Pepe, Moura and Van Persie all keep their positions. If we do a very quick best 11, this is actually what they recommend. So they actually recommend playing Jimenez and Delap up front, which is interesting that Delap is technically our best pressing forward, which is a bit weird for me, but fair enough. Lucas Moura moves over to that right-hand side. Marmol and Trauner are our two best centre-backs, which is interesting as well. But that's not what we're going to play. We're going to play with, obviously, the 4 players that we made sure that we kind of stuck in their positions earlier. And in case you were interested, this is how the season has started. We have lost the Super Cup, a 2-1 defeat against PSV, and we've won against Groningen, Utrecht, Vitesse, and Go Ahead Eagles. Shaquille Van Persie getting on the score sheets already. Right then, we've jumped all the way to the end of the season, and once again, we are champions of the Eredivisie. We are, 5 points clear of PSV. We are 12 points clear of Ajax and AZ Alkmaar. So it looks like, who was it? Was it Fortuna Sittard were up there? Seems to have fallen off in the second part of the season. But we've done it again. We are 3-time champions. Technically, we are 2-time champions, but Feyenoord as a club have won it now 3 seasons in a row. How have we done when it comes to the Champions League? We've been knocked out in the round of 16 by Barcelona. And we've been knocked out in the semi-final with the Dutch Cup, which is what they wanted. I say this, it's not what they wanted. They didn't want to get knocked out. They wanted to get to the semi-final of the Dutch Cup, which is what we did. Knocked out in the round of 16. This is not ideal. This is not what we want to happen at all. So it looks like we lost both matches against Barcelona 2-1, both the home and away legs. Not perfect, but the fact that we were actually getting out of this group stage, particularly this horrible group stage, only just getting out of it by the looks of it. We had 3 wins against St. Gallen, Celtic and Real San Sebastian, a draw against PSG. That's a very good draw. And then 4 defeats against Milan, Barcelona, Juve and Bayern. We got absolutely smashed 6-0 by Bayern. I don't think we're good enough for the Champions League somehow. Some of the standout performers then from our team this season. 32-year-old Lucas Moura playing as that pressing forward up front, getting 17 goals and 5 assists, or 23 goals and 5 assists in all competitions. Actually done very well. He is wanted by Al Arabi, so if a decent bid comes in, I don't think we can turn anything down. If it's above £10 million, Lucas Moura is probably on his way, because at 33 years of age, he's only going to start declining, isn't he? The free transfer of Nicolas Pepe as well, getting 16 goals and 6 assists in all competitions, 12 in the league. I think this was a good bit of business. I think he's done pretty well. He's a regular starter in the prime years of his life. He is just about to turn 30 by the looks of it, so he's not going to have a huge amount of time left in playing for us at the very least. He's only got a year left on his contract. We might look to extend that beyond the end of next season, but we'll see how things go. Liam Delap, the perennial bench warmer for us, although he did start 20 matches for us, did pick up 10 league goals, 13 in all competitions. He actually started 8 Champions League games. Maybe we must have had an injury. I mean, Jimenez hasn't scored many goals. Maybe we had an injury to Jimenez, and that is why Delap actually started 20 games for us, which it's fine. We won the league, but still, Jimenez is good. We can't really afford to lose him. He started 11 matches in all competitions, did get 8 goals and 1 assist, but he must have had a bad injury. He did. He had a horrendous injury, in fact. That's the entire season. He missed the entire season. Is that a friendly? Did he get injured in a friendly? Please tell me. He got injured in a friendly against Fulham, and he missed most of the season. Where did he come back? Probably around here somewhere, surely. That's not ideal. That is not ideal, but fair enough. I mean, we had Liam Delap. He did a job. Despite the fact that he wasn't really playing for us, but even Martin Braithwaite did manage to pick up 9 goals in all competitions. He is heading over to Girona, off to the old Manchester City kind of team connection. Well, they call the City Group. That's what they are. And Shaquille Van Persie, obviously now at 18 years of age, getting plenty of game time. He's played 67 times for Feyenoord now. 15 goals in all competitions across those 67 games. This season, 7 goals, 13 assists. 13 assists is pretty good. And he's also picking up England under-21 caps and goals. I don't like the fact that he's playing for the England side. I don't like the fact. I want him to be playing for Holland, but there we are. Before we jump to Season 3, I just want to take a look quickly as well at Mika Marmol, obviously one of our central defenders that we signed in the summer. And at 23, I think he was probably one of our centre-backs, playing 23 times in all competitions, or 34, sorry, in all competitions, played quite a lot. I think he's turning into a very good-looking centre-back. I think we've done some very good business there with Marmol. Right, let's jump forward to the start of Season 3 and see what money we've got to spend. So it's already the 7th of July. The season hasn't kicked off just yet, but we've had our transfer budgets come in, and we've spent £16 million, which you will just see in a second. We've also brought in 2 more players on free transfers who I think are going to be very, very good, and one of them is probably going to be a big surprise. First of all then, Liam Delap has made his move a permanent deal from Manchester City, £16.25 million. It's steep. It is definitely very steep, but I know Liam Delap is good in Football Manager, which I guess is technically cheating. But still, I know he's good. I know there's potential there, and having Liam Delap leading the lines for another 3 more seasons for us could be absolute gold dust. So for that money, I think it was worth the risk. Joining Liam Delap is 28-year-old Brazilian defensive midfielder Arthur, formerly of Juve, Liverpool, Barcelona and Grêmio. He's had an interesting career. He's been all over the place, and he's managed to find his way over to the Netherlands. Free transfer, you can't go wrong. Defensive midfielder, probably not going to be playing week in, week out, but he's still obviously very, very good. And my personal favourite on a free transfer is Sadio Mane. He left Liverpool, he went to Bayern Munich, and then he's just left Bayern Munich, and we picked him up on a free transfer. This is the whole Your World thing. If we didn't have Your World, we probably wouldn't have been able to get him. He's on £26,000 a week. He is 33. He's only got a year contract. I think we might deploy him as a striker for a season. I think we might deploy him as a striker for a season, or maybe on that right-hand side. Maybe we kind of dislodge Pepe for a year. Not quite sure, but we've got Sadio Mane on a free transfer, and we've still got £14 million to spend, which I'm not convinced we need to spend at the moment. We're going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window to see whether we do spend that money. We'll have a quick look at the squad as well before we properly kick off the season. Well, our transfer budget has gone up, which can mean pretty much one thing, can't it? We've sold more players than we've actually brought in. We've brought in 2 more players, but we have sold about 7. So let's fly through the people we've sold very quickly. For £115,000, Jadon Etienne has gone to PEC Zwolle. For £350,000, Danilo has gone to Zaragoza. For £450,000, Thomas van den Belt has gone to Gil Vicente. For £525,000, Thomas Bielan has gone to Zaragoza. For £675,000, Patrick Wallemark has gone to Lommel SK in Belgium. For £1.1 million, Jaiviro Dilrosun has moved over to Everton. Probably could have got more money for him, but basically he was out of contract at the end of the season and he didn't want to stay, so we thought we'd just take some money now. For £2.1 million, Yerry Mina has moved back over to England, signing for Coventry. And the big one, for £7.5 million, Gernot Trauner has signed for FC RB Salzburg over in Austria, going to the whole Red Bull machine. 33 years of age, £7.5 million. I think we kind of had to do that, particularly when you think last season we did invest in 3 decent young centre-backs. We've already replaced Trauner, so we don't need to spend that money to get somebody in who's going to basically fill in the gap. And joining the club, we've signed Lucas Vennegoor of Hesselink. That's right, the son of Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink. And I don't think he's very good. I just bought him because of who his dad was, right? Okay? I think he might be alright. He's got 3.5-star potential. He's cost £600,000. I partially brought him in because he's Dutch. We're running out of Dutch players. And I thought, you know what? Vennegoor of Hesselink and Van Persie playing up front just sounds like the early 2000s, doesn't it? Also joining the club is another Dutch defender. This time it's Sepp van den Berg, 23 years of age. Formerly of Liverpool, never kicked a ball for them apparently. Spent a few seasons out on loan at Preston and Schalke by the looks of it. We brought him in on a free transfer. Once again, he's Dutch. We just needed more Dutch players, and I don't think you can... He's not bad, is he? He's going to be our 4th choice centre-back, so we're not going to see him. We have kicked the season off as well, ridiculously well. We are currently top of the table, 12 points out of a possible 12, 4 wins, and we've yet to concede a goal. We've beaten Valwijk 4-0, we've beaten Heerenveen and Camber 3-0 each, and we've beaten AZ Alkmaar 1-0 as well. Ajax, unfortunately, are in a very similar boat. However, they have conceded twice. So from a formation perspective for Season 3, we are sticking with the same formation, and with players that we are locking into position, it is only Geertruida, because I'm pretty sure if we ask this, they'll put Van Persie on the wing. Van Persie is now our best left winger. Van Persie is our best left winger, so he shouldn't need to be locked in. We might do it just to be safe, just in case they decide, actually, you know what, maybe you should play Nicolas Pepe on that left-hand side and Moira on the right, Delap and Jimenez up front, that kind of thing. But basically, we're only forcing Geertruida to be playing as that right-back because, once again, they keep changing what position he plays. I want him as a right-back. I think he's going to be very good. He's been very good the last couple of seasons as well. He's just been getting really high ratings playing as that right-back, so I don't want to move him to be any other position, partially because we've got decent defensive midfielders anyway who can play there. So we don't need Geertruida in there. We're now going to jump forward to the end of the season, where hopefully we can win the Eredivisie for the third consecutive time, fourth for Feyenoord in total. Hopefully we can get out of the Champions League group stage. Hopefully we can win the Dutch Cup. And we did win the Johan Cruyff Cup thingy. What did we do? We beat Waalwijk 5-3. Arthur, De Lapp with 2, Jimenez and Lucas Moura. Lovely. Right, let's jump forward to the end of the season. We are 3 for 3. However, that was awfully close. Just 2 points separating Ajax and Feyenoord, but we are once again champions of the Netherlands, champions of the Eredivisie. 4 times we've won it now in a row. I mean, technically we can't see the 4th on there, but we've won it 4 times in a row. We have dislodged Ajax and PSV from this constant back and forth that they've been doing. Obviously, Feyenoord did win it 2016, 2017, Twente back down in 2009, 2010, and AZ in 2008, 2009. But it's basically just been those 2 teams with a little bit of Feyenoord here or there. Hopefully, we put ourselves right in the middle of this now. In the Champions League, then, obviously, we did not win the thing. We're not in the semi-final. We didn't get to the quarter-final. We didn't get to the round of 16. We did not get to the knockout playoff. Oh, my word. We finished 35th out of 36. We drew with Salzburg and Porto, and then we lost against Celtic, Liverpool, Copenhagen, Ferencváros, Arsenal, and Bayern Munich. We were awful. That's really not good. I was going to say a backward step. That's not a backward step. That is, we've fallen off a ladder. We've fallen off a ladder and into a manhole. That's awful. Silver lining, everybody. We did win the Dutch Cup, which is the first time we've managed to win the Dutch Cup. A 3-0 win against Heerenveen in the final. But that Champions League, man, that's knocked me for 6. So looking at the players for Season 3, Jimenez, at now 25 years of age, scoring 17 goals in the league, 22 in all competitions. He's wanted by Al Nassr. That might not be good. If there's a 5 or a bigger number at the start of that, we might end up selling Jimenez in the summer, because that's silly money. That is potentially silly money. 63 goals in 93 league appearances for Feyenoord. He's very good at football, isn't he? Joint top goal scorer as well is Liam De Lapp, 22 goals in all competitions, 33 to 37 million pounds. Playing just 29 starts. I say just as if it's like a small number. Only 29 starts out of, I think it's about 34 in possible all competitions, or in the league at the very least. I think De Lapp was a good investment. I genuinely think De Lapp was a good investment. He's scored 27 goals now for Feyenoord in 60 appearances, most of them this season. Breaking into double figures for goals as well, Shaquille Van Persie on the left-hand side with 11, just 3 assists, which is not ideal. I have loan listed Van Persie, by the way, because I think he needs more game time, and I think we've got players like your Manes and your Pepes and stuff like that might be kind of forcing him out of the side every now and then. So I kind of loan listed him in the hope that he goes somewhere, gets a season under his belt and comes back a much better footballer, or we might keep playing him anyway. Lucas Moura doing the business, 6 goals in the league, but 13 assists, 11 and 15 in all competitions. Was he playing as a striker? No. So he was moved over to that right-hand side by the looks of it, which is why he's got a whole load of goals and assists on the right-hand side. Pepe seemed to not play much at all. Okay, 3 starts, 11 off the bench, 3 goals, 4 assists. Not ideal for Nick. Mane in not a similar boat, but didn't play anywhere near as much as I thought he would. 16 starts, 9 off the bench in the league. Didn't really do particularly well. Maybe Sadio Mane was a mistake. He is 34. So the Tommy Doyle experiment also isn't working. He's played 6 times in all competitions in the last 2 years. He's not getting better, is he? And Jamie Shackleton has played once and he's just awful. He's just awful. Sorry, Jamie, I might have ruined your career, mate. Mika Marmel is very quickly becoming my favourite player for this Feyenoord side. For the money we spent on him, I thought it was steep. But for £5.75 million, we've got ourselves I was going to say potentially world-class centre-back. He's still only 24. He's got no caps for Spain. Can he play for anyone else? He can't play for anyone else. So maybe in 1,202 days, he might be able to play for Holland. He's not going to be playing for the Netherlands, is he? Anyway, we are now going to jump forward to the start of next season, as we always do. Season 4, our transfer budget is looking likely to be about £11 million. I'm not sure what business we're going to do just yet, but we'll come back around the 1st of July. So it is the 6th of July, Season 4 begins, and we have already done some transfer business, as we always seem to do the moment that transfer window opens. 3 new players have joined the club, but we've also sold a couple of kind of big names, not really, but for some money. Jakov Medic, who we signed a couple of seasons ago, has left, moving to SC Freiburg. We just weren't playing him, basically. He was our third, maybe even fourth choice centre-back, so we've moved him on. He's gone for 4.2, potentially rising to £5.25 million. So we've technically made a bit of profit from him. We have also sold Ramiz Zarouki, the Algerian central midfielder, for £10 million to Al Qadsiya in Saudi Arabia. He kind of just dropped down the pecking order, basically. Last season or so, wasn't really playing. The first year, I think he was really, really good for us, but then just wasn't really getting the game time. So £10 million, it's not massive amounts of money, but it's decent. Joining the club then, we've gone back to Manchester City because Man City have some very good young players. The problem is, nobody ever plays them. I'm also guilty of this. Luis Fiorini is the next off the production line for Manchester City. The 24-year-old Scottish central midfielder was joined on a free transfer, and he'll never kick a ball for us, but he's got some potential, so he might get better. For £425,000, welcome Malambo to the club. Our first new gen that we've actually signed, 18-year-old South African right winger from Sundowns. Always check out Sundowns. If you don't know, check out Sundowns. They're one of the best teams in South Africa. He is fast. He's really, really fast. 16 acceleration, 16 agility, 15 pace as well. Welcome is going to be playing a fair amount of football for us. I might force play him. I'm not sure whether that's a good idea, but I might force play him on the right-hand side. And probably my favourite signing so far of this summer transfer window is Mark Guay, signed from Crystal Palace. And I know what you're thinking, how many millions of pounds did I spend on him? Nothing. He was a free transfer. His contract expired at Crystal Palace, and we managed to snap him up for £67,000 per week. At 25 years of age, we've got ourselves a very good central defender. Him and Marmel in centre-back, I think, is the centre-back partnership of the league. And that's been our business so far. Obviously, still only the 6th of July, so plenty of time to go. And this is what we are looking like when it comes to the squad and what we're going to kind of force play. Geertruida staying as that right-back, but Mats Wiefer is a 26-year-old Dutch central midfielder who's very good. He's very, very good. He's been here since before I even started the save, and I just want to play him, okay? I just want to play him as a deep line playmaker, so we're locking him in. And 4 games into the season, Mats Wiefer is basically proving me completely right. A goal, 2 assists to his name, an average rating of 7.72 in the Eredivisie. He's wanted. The window's closed, so Al Ittihad can keep their grubby little mitts off. But Mats Wiefer, very, very good. 4 games have been played so far, but we've also done some transfer business. And some of the names who have left the club have been quite sizable. We have sold Lucas Moura to Al Gharafa in, I believe, Qatar for £2.8 million. We basically decided to cut our money now. At 34 years of age, we got a bit of cash for him. We just weren't going to play him. Also moving over to Al Gharafa in Qatar is Marcus Holmgren Pedersen, who was our backup right back. Because basically, Geertruida was our number 1 right back for £19.25 million, potentially rising to £25 million. That's silly money for a player who I don't think is very good. Speaking of players who I don't think are very good, Jamie Shackleton has left. He's gone back over to England, signing for Ipswich for £700,000. Hopefully he can revive his career. We've also loaned out Nicolas Pepe to Rangers because we weren't going to play him this season. Rangers are paying a fair amount of his wages, so it's not too bad. But yeah, Nicolas Pepe, probably the last we've ever seen of him. And it is also the last we've ever seen of Geertruida, because he's moved over to PSG for £69 million, potentially rising to £73 million. We kind of couldn't turn it down, partially because he didn't want to be here much longer. He was like, I want to play with better players, I want to win Champions Leagues, and things like that. So we went, you know what? If they offer £70-odd million, we're probably just going to have to take it. We've sold Geertruida. It's going to be a big miss, particularly as we sold our backup right back as well. Which means we've signed an 18-year-old German called Christian Jaeger from Borussia Dortmund, and we're going to play him every single game this season as a right back. He's not even very good. My scouts just said he was good. He's worth a lot of money. Christian Jaeger, you've got some very big boots to fill for £4.5 million. He's already got a goal and an assist to his name. It's a risk. It's a massive risk. I spent ages, absolutely ages, trying to find a right back who was, first of all, young, but also good. I couldn't find young, but I could find... I couldn't find young. I could find young, and I could find good. I couldn't find young and good. So I went, you know what, let's go for young and potential, because they will get good, rather than buying somebody who's like 33, who'll be good for a season. We have also picked up another new gen in Ihab Soliman, who's an 18-year-old Egyptian right midfielder, or right winger, from Wadi Degla. He has cost £500,000, And I think he's going to be a superstar. I genuinely think he's going to be a superstar. He's already good enough, really, to play for us now. And I'm thinking we might play him on that right-hand side, because obviously where Pepe has gone, he's moved on. Maybe we put Solomon on the right-hand side with Jaeger as our right-back. Two 18-year-olds, completely unproven, playing in the Eredivisie. Oh, and we're not moving away from our new gens just yet either. We have Nikola Govardarica, maybe, as a 18-year-old Bosnian defensive midfielder. Signed from Basel. He's come off the bench a couple of times. I'm not telling them to do this. He's just on the bench and they're bringing him on because they think he's good enough. 5-star potential. He's cost £9 million. For £9 million, you'd hope he was good. I basically saw his value. I think his value at Basel was like 7 to like £12 million. Got him somewhere in the middle of it. And it might be good. He might be good. He might be awful. It might be an absolutely massive mistake. But we've brought in Govardarica, and I'm hoping he's going to be good. We've also got one more player. And I don't think you're going to believe I've done this, because he's not... He's good. He's good. What am I on about? He's good. It's Football Manager. It's not real life. It's Jadon Sancho. We've signed a 26-year-old Jadon Sancho, got released from Manchester United, and we've got him on a free transfer. And he's not going to be on that left-hand side. He's probably going to be playing on the right, isn't he? Let's be honest. Which means Solomon might not be playing on that right-hand side. But free transfer for a 26-year-old Sancho is good business. It's good business. I'm not just buying good players. This is good business as well. I could have spent probably £25 million on a player as good as Sancho, and I would have been £25 million worse off. We've got Sancho in on a free. So I think this is what we're going to go for. We're locking in 3 players. We're locking in Christian Jaeger. We are locking in Weefer. And we're locking in Malambo on that right-hand side. I think Malambo's going to be better than Solomon. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's going to be better than Solomon. So that's what we're going to do. The reason why we're locking them in, because if we do best 11, they change things around. They also move Weefer to a ball-winner midfielder, which I don't really want to do. The concern I have with locking in Malambo on that right-hand side, Sancho might move over to the left, which means Van Persie doesn't necessarily get any game time. Not sure whether that's a good idea. He is wanted by AC Milan. He might not be here much longer anyway. And just so you're aware, the season has kicked off like this. We lose the Super Cup to Ajax, but we then win 4 in 4. We beat VVV Venlo. We beat PSV. That's a big win against PSV. Van Persie scoring. We beat Zwolle 5-1. We beat Excelsior 4-0. With a goal from Welcome Malambo as well. It means we are top of the table, as we already know. In the Champions League, can we even see who we got? We have Villarreal, we have PSG, which means we're up against Guilherme. We have Arsenal, Villa, Chelsea. Apparently we're just playing English sides. We have Napoli, Tottenham and Genk. Why are we playing 4 English teams? That's ridiculous. Also, well done Aston Villa. Right, let's jump forward to the end of the season and see how we get on. And I'm hoping we at least get out the group stage of the Champions League. Well, we've only gone and done it again. We are 4 out of 4 for Feyenoord winning the Eredivisie with us in charge. 5 in a row now as well for Feyenoord, which is mad. Absolutely madness. 5 points clear of PSV in second, 7 points clear of Ajax, and then a long way back to 4th place Volendam. Fair play to Volendam, finishing that high up in the table as well. Jimenez being the top scorer in the league once again, so no big injury for him, which is good. How did we get on in the Champions League? How did we get on? We got knocked out in the playoff round. Knocked out in the playoff round. Oh, it was close as well. So we lost 2-0 in the first leg, and then we win the second leg 4-3. But it means that they managed to still go through because they did score those 5 goals. We are just awful in Europe. We are just not good in Europe for some reason. We did also get knocked out of the Dutch Cup as well by AZ Alkmaar in the quarterfinals, which is not ideal, but I don't think anyone cares about the Dutch Cup, which is weird. At now 26 years of age, Jimenez is madness. He's absolutely madness for us. 87 goals and 126 league appearances for Feyenoord. 33 goals in all competitions. 24 in the league, 8 in the Champions League as well. He's just good. He's really good, and he's still getting better. He's wanted by Real Madrid and Al Ittihad. If Real Madrid come in, I feel like we can't turn that one down. I don't know why, but I feel like he's a Real Madrid fan. He's not. Fair enough. He loves Feyenoord, doesn't he? Jimenez is good. Our second top scorer was Shaquille Van Persie with 14 goals in all competitions, 10 in the league, 4 in the Champions League. He's still wanted, this time by Real Madrid, still playing on that left-hand side. 9 under-21 caps with 9 goals as well. No first-team caps though, Shaquille. Come on, pull your finger out. Fellow Englishman Liam Delap as well is up there, joint on 14 goals for the season, 12 in the league, 2 in the Champions League. He's also wanted. Who wants you? Al Ittihad. We're getting a lot of the Saudi teams wanting to sign our best players, which is not good. Even Jadon Sancho's chipping in with a lot of goals. 10 goals in all competitions, 14 assists. And who's he wanted by? Al Nassr, obviously in Saudi Arabia. That was a good signing. That was a good signing. Much like the Pepe signing, much like the Braithwaite signing, this was a good signing. Our 5th top goal scorer is a man called Sene Batile, who's an 18-year-old who came through our youth intake, I believe, in the 2nd season. Spent a couple of years out on loan. I've known about this guy. I've not really shown him to, but I've known that he looks quite good. And he's broken kind of into the first team on merit at this point. He's very good. He's very good. Maybe if we sell Jimenez, maybe Batile is our striker alongside Delap up front. Welcome has done all right. Looks like he might have picked up a fairly sizable injury. 12 starts, 11 off the bench, 4 goals, 7 assists in the league though. So actually getting a decent amount of game time, turning into a pretty good looking footballer as well. He's a 3.5-star winger and he's still only 18. Christian Jaeger, the 18-year-old we signed from Dortmund, has played 31 times in the league so far, 43 in all competitions by the looks of it. And he's getting better. He's not getting much better, if I'm honest. He's nowhere near as good as I would hoped he would be at the end of the season, but Jaeger's getting a lot of game time, which is good. Maybe, he's still only 18, isn't he? He's still only 18 years of age. He's got plenty of time. Similarly, as well, Nikola Govardaricha has played a fair amount, 16 appearances, starts, that is, 8 off the bench, 2 goals and 5 assists as well. The 18-year-old has now got 4 caps for Bosnia. I think he's pretty good. I think he's actually turning into a decent footballer, maybe on the cusp of the first team, and I don't need to force play him there. Ehab Solomon has come off the bench a few times. He's getting better. He's actually getting better, but he's not quite there yet, is he? Maybe next season we possibly look at force playing him rather than Welcome, but I think Solomon's got plenty of time. 19 years of age, maybe we loan him out. The final player I want to show you is Mikey Satinje, might be his name. He came through our youth intake in the very first youth intake. He is a goalkeeper, obviously, but I think he's going to be very good. My scouts and coaches think he's going to be very good, which means he's played his first appearance in the league. I force played him for the last game of the season. He did get a clean sheet and a 7.3 rating. We have Justin Bijlow, I believe that's what his name is, who's very, very good. But maybe, they're not even close to being similar, are they? Maybe we look at playing Satinje for a full season. Maybe we sell Bijlow, we play Satinje, and we see how things go. We've won the league 5 years in a row, guys. We're not going to win the Champions League. Let's try and do some experiments. Maybe that's what we do for Season 5. And speaking of Season 5, we have minus £10 million transfer budget. And I don't know why. I have no idea why. We've not brought anyone in. We've just got minus £10 million. I think that might be a bug. And it was something that I think was fixed quite recently. But obviously not when I played this. So, yeah, not ideal. So the final season with Feyenoord and our transfer budget is now minus £8.888 million. I don't know why we are so far. We're not even in debt. We've got £163 million, but we are in a negative transfer budget. It doesn't make any sense to me, but this is kind of what we have to deal with. It doesn't mean we're not going to do any transfers, though, because we've already done 2. Mateus Nunes, the Wolverhampton Wanderers central midfielder, 28 years old, Portuguese international with 11 caps and 1 goal to his name in this save, has come in on a free transfer because he got released, and I think that's just good business, isn't it? Ignore how much he's getting paid, okay? £100,000 a week is very steep, but he's good, right? Because we have no transfer budget, we can kind of use all of our wage budget. That's my thoughts. We've also signed Tommaso Baldanzi, who, if you've ever played Football Manager before, you'll realise he's absolutely ridiculous. And do you know how much money he's cost us? Literally nothing. Free transfer, got released from Empoli, we snapped him up. We had to offer him a silly contract, okay? He's on a silly contract, £82,000 a week. He's probably got some clauses in there that will probably make your toes curl. But Baldanzi is in, and the problem is we don't play an attacking midfielder. So we might train him up to be a striker, which I feel like is probably the position he's going to play. Maybe him and Delap up front. Maybe him and Jimenez up front. Maybe we've got too many strikers. One striker we don't have anymore, by the way, is Daniel Jefferson. He's just left, signed for Preston. He's actually spent a season out on loan at FC Emmen. Did score a couple of goals as well for Feyenoord, just in case you were wondering. But yeah, he's gone to Preston. It is the 2nd of September. The transfer window has just closed. We have already played 5 league games for some reason this season. First season, I think it was 3 at this point. Now we've played 5. We are currently top of the table, 5 wins out of 5. We also have the top goal scorer and the second top goal scorer in the league in Baldanzi and Sancho. We've scored a lot of goals by the looks of it. We've beaten Sparta Rotterdam 3-2, Heerenveen 4-0, PSV 2-0, VVV Venlo 2-1, and Groningen 7-2. The fact that we conceded twice is a bit confusing in that, but still, a 7-2 win is impressive. We've also done a small amount of transfer business. Zeno de Bast has signed on loan from Inter Milan. Originally, I think he starts the game at Anderlecht, but he's gone to Inter Milan in this save. We've loaned him. Probably not going to play him. If I'm honest, he's come in as a backup. We need some more central defenders. So de Bast, he's all right. Some permanent transfers leaving the club as well. Tommy Doyle has left, moving over to Braga in Portugal for £600,000? £675,000. So, I mean, we actually made a fair amount of money from him. We bought him for 1.7. We lost money. We lost money from him. For £825,000, we've also sold Luis Farini. He's gone to FC Lorient over in France. We made money off him. I knew we made money off one of them. And we've also sold Nicolas Pepe to Rangers for £3.5 million because there was a clause, a part of this loan deal from last season, that if you played a certain amount of games, it would become permanent. And it did, which I'm very thankful for, because £3.5 million is good money. That's good money for a player who's 32 years of age. And the final thing to talk about for players leaving the club is Ehab Solomon, who has gone out on loan to SC Heerenveen for the season. This could be massive for him. If he gets a full season under his belt playing for Heerenveen in the Eredivisie, he could come back a much, much better footballer. And he's already pretty good. So you might be wondering, what players are we forced playing for this season? And we are not forced playing our goalkeeper. We're going to stick with Bijlo, but he is wanted. Maybe in January. Maybe we do it. So Satinja is going to be our number 2 goalkeeper. We're going to force play Christian Jaeger, who's still not good enough, but we're kind of going to have to do it. And Baldanzi is going to be playing up front as that attacking forward, and we don't know who's going to play alongside him. If I ask the assistant, the best 11, they don't put Baldanzi up front. They put him on the right-hand side, Jimenez and Delap up front, Van Persie, Nunez and Weifer. Marmon's left back is a weird one. I'm not quite convinced that's a good idea, but fair enough. And actually, when you look at our subs bench, it's pretty decent. We've got Jadon Sancho on our subs bench. Kovac, who I'm hoping is going to get much better this season as well. He looks like he's already getting better. So we've got a decent-looking subs bench. We've got a decent-looking starting 11. So I'm quite happy with how things are going to go final season. What are our expectations? Qualify for the Champions League. My expectation is to win the league, obviously. We've won the Johan Cruyff Cup, which we'll take a look at in just a second. Be competitive and reach the semi-final. So what do? We beat AZ Alkmaar thanks to Jadon Sancho. Lovely. We've got RB Salzburg, we've got Young Boys, we've got Galatasaray, we've got Leipzig, Benfica, Monaco, Atletico Madrid and Man City in the Champions League. We should be good enough to beat Monaco, Benfica, Leipzig, Galatasaray, Young Boys, Salzburg. We should be good enough to beat 6 of the 8 teams we have. I feel like we're going to lose probably 6 of the matches, maybe win 1, and that'll be against Man City, won't it? Right, we're going to jump forward to the end of the season, see how well we've done in our final year in charge of Feyenoord. That's not ideal, is it? That's not ideal. So we finished second place. Ajax have won the league. They've won the league by 4 points. Have we lost badly to anyone? We've not. Just Ajax don't seem to lose. That's the thing. Ajax just have not really lost anywhere near as many as we have. Second place. So we've won 4 out of 5 seasons. 4 out of 5 Eredivises have come to Feyenoord. 5 in a row, technically, if you include the one that happened in real life before we took over. Question is, how have we done in the Champions League? How have we done? We've been knocked out in the league phase. 29th. We managed to beat RB Salzburg. We drew against Leipzig, Galatasaray and Young Boys. We lost to Man City, Atletico Madrid, Monaco and Benfica. It's not good, is it? Why can't we do well in Europe? Why can't we do well in Europe at all? Especially when you consider PSV are a team that we have literally beaten every single season, finished 24th. Why can we not do better than PSV? How did they even do? They got to the knockouts and got knocked out by Benfica. Fair enough. We didn't even win the Dutch Cup. We lose to Ajax in the final 2-0. It's not gone well, has it? It's not gone well. I mean, at least we won the Johan Cruyff Shield. So Baldanzi, playing as a striker, picks up 25 goals and 15 assists in all competitions. That's a lot. He only started 31 league games and getting 18 and 11 assists in the league. That is ridiculous. For a player that costs us nothing, Chelsea, AC Milan, Real Madrid want to sign Baldanzi, which, if I'm honest, if he's putting up those kind of numbers, I'm not surprised. He's also got 18 caps and 11 goals for Italy as well. His strike partner, being Santiago Jimenez, now 27 years of age, has broken the 100 goals barrier in the league, 21 in all competitions with 6 assists. Is he still wanted by Real Madrid? It's not. It's Al Nassr this time he's wanted by, so he might be off maybe in the summer if we were to do another couple of seasons. Shaquille Van Persie, 15 goals, 13 assists, and 2 England caps. Wasn't expecting Van Persie to be getting England caps at the age of 21, but there we are. Shaquille Van Persie has broken into the England side. Has he? Who was it against? Scotland. He played against Scotland. Has he scored? He's not scored. Okay. Can we even see? As he's played Scotland, he came off the bench with a few minutes left to play, and then played also 45 minutes against Turkey as well, which he was awful. A 6.3 rating. Terrible. Welcome Malambo seemed to be getting a lot of game time, and I have not forced this one this season. 13 assists, 9 goals in the league, 15 assists and 12 goals in all competitions. 1 cap for South Africa, wanted by Man United. It's not going to be easy to keep hold of him, I don't think. He's got 2 years yet left on his contract. We probably would want to offer him a new contract. He's a Wonderkid as well. We've got ourselves a Wonderkid. Magical. Liam Delap having a reasonably productive season considering he's come off the bench most matches by the looks of it. 22 off the bench, 6 starts, 8 goals and 3 assists. He's kind of been the one to really take the hit from the Baldanzi signing, which is harsh because Delap's good. He's wanted. Who wants to sign Delap? It is Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Sancho has also had a similar season to Delap by the looks of it. 10 starts, 23 off the bench, 7 goals and 2 assists. It looks like he's been playing on the left-hand side. It does. So he's been coming on, basically, for Van Persie when Van Persie's looking a bit tired by the looks of it. Mateus Nunes, the £100,000 a week man, has played 28 starts in the league. 2 goals, 6 assists, 5 and 8 in all competitions. I think this was a good signing. I think he's done a decent job for us. Maybe getting paid too much money, but he's good. He's just a good footballer. How's Christian Jaeger doing? He's starting to look a lot better. He's starting to look a lot better at 19 years of age, soon to be 20. 9 assists in all competitions, scored a goal as well in the Dutch Cup, and got an assist in the Dutch Cup. So Christian Jaeger's getting better. He's definitely getting better. As is Govardaricha, not playing anywhere near as many times this season, I assume because of Nunes, but still coming off the bench 20 times, 8 starts as well. 9 caps and 2 goals for Bosnia. Fair play, mate. Doesn't look like he managed to play, does it? Satinjay, 19 years of age now. He's obviously played once. Hasn't played. He did go out on loan, actually. Has he been out on loan all this season? And he didn't kick a ball. Why did he go on loan to Dordrecht and they just didn't play him? Speaking of loan players, where is he? How has Ehab Solomon done in his final season? He's not played much. 9 starts, 2 off the bench, a goal and an assist. I mean, the idea of you going out on loan, mate, for a season was to get game time. Well, that is going to do it then for this Feyenoord save where we've done 5 seasons. We've won 4 Eredivisie. We won 4 in a row, and then this season where we finished second place and kind of balled everything up, which is not ideal, but still, you know, these things happen sometimes. It's frustrating, but whatever. It is what it is. We've also been awful in Europe because for some reason, and I don't know why, we can't do well in Europe. We just can't get past the first knockout round of the Champions League. I would have rather dropped down into the Europa League and kind of progress well in that, because I think we could have done all right in the Europa League. We maybe even could have won it. Instead, we just got battered by the big boys in the Champions League every single season. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and you're enjoying these rebuild-style videos that I am doing. If you've got any recommendations as well, stick them down in the comments. I've got a few ideas in mind, but I don't have everything planned out just yet, so stick some down in the comments, and I will see you in whatever I do next.